Oh, hey folks, it's David back again with another video. Welcome back to the channel. And what I have up for you next on this video that I'm about to put together is actually just a miscellaneous collage, a montage of videos that I made many years ago when The Force Awakens first came out, and they were on my YouTube channel all those years ago before YouTube put the kibosh on that entire channel. So instead of uploading these things one at a time, I'm just gonna throw them all onto this one video that you're about to see if you stick around and watch it all together, because who gives a care? That's all I can say. I'm gonna put it in the title of this video, who gives a care, because of this piece of trash movie called The Force Awakens. So this is how it's gonna be. I'm not gonna upload them one at a time. I'm just gonna put this big hour and a half or longer video up on Rumble. I keep looking over there because it's buffering another video that I'm making right now, and I keep looking at it. Sorry, I won't look at it again. Yeah, so that's how it's going to be. Also, I looked at it. I checked the videos, each of them, and they're audio, because I had, just for the sake of being able to upload stuff faster, I had just made little audio recordings of my reviews back in the day. And unfortunately, the audio is so low, you probably won't be able to. You will be able to hear it if you use headphones, because I just tested it out. But the volume all the way up, you'll be able to hear it on your headphones. And it's like 3 or 4 videos, and then an actual. They're all audio, but then there's an actual video. I think at the end I'm going to throw on this stupid. My thoughts on Rogue One, or whatever it is, that I videoed out in the yard years ago when that movie came out. That was the only one that was somewhat tolerable to me, Rogue One, because they made this beautiful mess, and it was beautiful, and then they had the decency to kill literally everybody in the end of it. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Rogue One. Maybe I'll watch that movie again one day and consider it kind of like the diamond in the rough, or whatever, the one good thing that Disney Star Wars created. And that's the last one I watched, because I couldn't stand any more of these things after what I realized they had done. I didn't believe what my eyes saw in The Force Awakens, and so I just kind of hung in there, I lied to myself like a lot of people did, but I didn't even watch The Last Jedi. I can't. I literally can't watch that movie. I saw little clips and I heard things about what happened in it, and I can't watch it. I couldn't watch any more Disney Star Wars garbage. I couldn't do it. And so all this video, after I've been yapping for 3 minutes, all this is going to be is some video clips. Instead of uploading it one by one, I'm just going to have a big montage of videos. It's like 4 videos you're about to see if you hang around, and got to have your headphones on, turned all the way up. Otherwise you won't hear it, because I talk like this in the audio, and I didn't speak close to the receiver. I didn't have my mouth up to the microphone, so you can barely hear the stuff. So yeah, that's what this video is. It's just a montage of The Force Awakens, Disney Star Wars junk that you can see I don't really care about it, because it's The Force Awakens, and so who gives a care? Thanks for watching. Hey YouTube, this is David, back again with another video. I'm not even going to bother with the video intro the way I like to do, even though I'm going to switch over to this audio anyway, because it's easier to upload these than my videos. I don't have the best equipment, so yeah, this is just going to be full audio. Hopefully my voice isn't too annoying. I see some people are watching my videos. But yeah, Star Wars, The Force Awakens. I've been meaning to do this rant, and yes, it is going to be a rant. Full blown, no holds barred, whatever. No holding back anymore. No middle of the road, whatnot. Unlike my last video where I tried to explain the way that I was thinking about the movie and all the different things that I thought were interesting, and then I tried to explain this and that. But no, this is going to be all complaints. This is going to be a full-blown rant. I did not like the movie. I think something has gone horribly wrong with Star Wars, and it largely surrounds the person of J.J. Abrams as far as who I hold most responsible, because there's got to be a mastermind behind everything. And I know people lop all this stuff up like it's nobody's business, but I went and paid too. I paid, well, actually, no, I didn't. I can't even say that. My mom took us to see it. So, hey, I won't even say that. But I feel bad for her. Because, like I said in that one video, she looked at me as the title as the credits started to go up. She put on this crazy face. She said, I just paid $50 to see Luke Skywalker for 30 seconds. And she was laughing at herself, and I started laughing too. Even though at that moment, I liked the movie, because that ending scene was haunting to me. Haunting. Climbing the steps, the music, it might be my favorite piece of music from the movie. I like that scene. Not everything about it, but it got me in the end. And that really annoys me, because I still have this feeling. It didn't last long, because as we were walking out of the theater, I was thinking, okay, what exactly did I just see, and did I like it? No, I didn't like it. And that's what I'm going to go ahead and just say in this rambling audio rant of Star Wars. I'm going to say everything that's on my mind. Will this be the final rant? You know what? I'm going to title it that. Will it be the final rant? Question mark. Because even I don't know. Because there are things that I want to say in here that I think are valid and are just worthy to be said over and over again, because it's true. It's basic problems that I see with the movie. Fundamental things. It's fantasy. Star Wars, like Harry Potter, which I actually haven't seen all those movies, and I'm missing out on popular culture. I'm out of the loop because of it. I got to make an effort one day to sit down and watch all those films, just like I haven't watched all of the Pirates of the Caribbean. I got to do that one day too. But what I'm trying to say is Pirates of the Caribbean, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, other things like that, it's fantasy. But even in fantasy, in your own universe, kind of like Star Trek also, which is more science fiction obviously, but Star Wars is sci-fi, but it's fantasy also, and that's what I hold it as first, fantasy, even though it's futuristic, whatnot, and yeah, there's a whole lot of sci-fi in it, but I'm thinking mostly in terms of fantasy when I think about Star Wars. But even then, like any other universe that storytellers create, there are rules. Even if they're unspoken, there's still rules and laws even within that universe. But this movie, Abrams, J.J. Abrams, I don't want to call him Jar Jar. Well, actually, I do want to call him Jar Jar Abrams, but I will not. Or just joking Abrams, I will not. I think that it's crossing the line for me. I'm going to just call him J.J. Abrams. Went against some of those established rules, spoken and unspoken rules. I'm going to go ahead and get this over with, and so just so it's done. The character of Finn, John Boyega's character, I got this sense from him, watching him portray this character, Boyega. I haven't seen him in anything else, although I'd like to. This was the first movie I've ever seen him in. I got the sense from him that he has this charisma, that he has a whole lot of talent. I saw a brief interview where he mentioned, I don't know if it was 6 or 8 months of auditions that he had to go through to secure the part of Finn. That's talent. Everybody in this film, you're talking about talented people, these actors. And so it's not a matter of talent, in my mind, as I'm making this recording. No, it's a matter of direction. Just saying. That's my opinion. Take it, leave it. I honestly don't give a care. It's just my opinion. Don't get upset with me. This is just what I see in this piece of art. I came away not really thinking much of the character of Finn. And it's not because of Boyega. Because I saw him in moments do things like it's serious, it's tense, it's foreboding, it's anxious. Him, I'm talking about him. It's uncertain. It's But then other parts of watching him where it's like he's like Kevin Hart. It's like this is a comedy. Absolutely atrocious. I can't stand it. What they did to the character of Finn. Let me say this. When I saw the trailer, I thought that, and by the way, I have only seen the movie once, but correct me if I'm wrong. In the comments, please tell me. Did the thing that you hear in the trailer, I think it's Rey's voice. The Force, it's calling to you. Just let it in. Was that in the movie? The theatrical release that I went and saw at Carmichael Windsong 16, Mobile, Alabama, in the movie theater? I didn't see that. I didn't hear that. That's in the trailer, isn't it? Or am I crazy? I'm not crazy. That was not in the movie. And also, I think it was Maz's voice. Hope is not lost this day. It is found, or whatever. I don't remember hearing that either. Anyway, I got the strong impression from the trailer that it was Finn, who you immediately see first in the trailer in the stormtrooper uniform, that he was going to be a Jedi. I got that impression just from the trailer. That's just the impression that I got. They didn't really go anywhere with that for sure in the movie. But what you do see at the very beginning is something that has the potential to be one of the most interesting characters ever in Star Wars, and that is to look at the universe through a stormtrooper's eyes and find out about this character. So many inconsistencies, though. When you watch the movie, even a little kid would be like, this doesn't add up. Are they clones? No, that's ruled out in the movie when he talks about how he was taken. He was taken as a child. So they're not clones. And yet, he's raised as a warrior, taken from birth, trained how to kill, made to kill, and yet in his first mission, he has this attack of conscience. And you are left with nothing. You are given nothing. No clue at all as to why that is. Why is he not only that he has this attack of conscience, why is he the only one? What is it that's made him say, this is wrong? And the whole scene with Poe Dameron when they're escaping, and he's like, you need a pilot, don't you? He's like, yeah, I need a pilot. Why are you helping me? Because it's the right thing to do. What? What makes him say that? What makes him think that? You have no idea. Oh. And while I'm on this, I'm thinking about that scene where Captain Phasma comes up behind him. Who gave you permission to take off that helmet? And it's like, let me go ahead and get my rant on her over with right now too. That bad scene, man, and by bad I mean good, in the trailer where you don't even know it's a woman in that chrome plated stormtrooper thing with the cape and everything. With the big gun, like striding like toward a TIE fighter. In the trailer, I'm thinking, oh man, this is like a high-level warrior right here. He's gonna get in a TIE fighter and go kill a bunch of rebels. Or like when I found out it's actually a woman, I'm like, oh man, she's gonna be bad. She's some unfortunate rebels or resistance fighters, as they're called in this new universe. Some poor guy is going to get his neck snapped by this Amazon woman. She's going to be blasting him. She doesn't do anything. Less than nothing in this movie. And that ticks me off because, not that I paid attention to it at the time, but I find out after the fact that a lot of fanfare, interviews and stuff were given to her. Gwendolyn something or other. And it's like, why? When you watch the movie, I wouldn't think you would give her more attention than you would whoever was wearing the Ewoks costume in Jedi. It's like, who cares? They didn't do anything. Even though that one scene of the Ewok getting blasted and then the other one going, what they? And he's like shaking. It's like, it's like that brings a tear to my eye every time. But yeah, even that has more impact on me than anything she did. She just got her whole people. She She got the Death Planet, the Death Planet, the Star Killer base blown up. Lower the shields. Okay. Bzz, and she just lowers them. No resistance, no fight, no nothing. And it's like, oh, man. Anyway, enough of her. Back to Finn. Really offended I am. I'm talking like Yoda. Offended I am. About what they did to, again, not on it's not Boyega's fault. It's writers and directors who messed up royally this character. The inconsistencies, the nonsense, having him. I mean, he wouldn't. It's Star Wars. You wouldn't have to have him stone face like maybe Tilk in Stargate Atlantis the whole time. No, he can loosen up at a point. But the transition, there isn't even a transition. It's like he's trying to escape, he's trying to get away. Boom! All of a sudden he's joking and asking Ray if she's got a boyfriend, and he's just like cowardly trying to run away. Not. They just did it wrong. They did it wrong, all wrong. And I got so many complaints about this movie, but that's the one that really gets me so much. It's like clouding out all the other things. I think that's why, I guess maybe that was why before I was making these videos and trying to hone in on just one specific thing. I'm going to be complaining about this movie for the next 2 years. I mean, I am looking forward to Rogue One very much. I'm looking forward to that film. In fact, I'm looking forward to it more than I am to these episodes, because I think there's more hope for the spin-offs to have to be better movies and better Star Wars movies at that than the episodes, because of the way they've started this new trilogy. I don't like it. I don't like it. Snoke, who is he? You're given nothing. Nothing. Somebody might ask, or they worded that article, will Star Wars Episode 7 kill or murder or rape, or whatever word they use, your childhood? Looking back, I'm thinking now, yeah, pretty much. And yes, I'm thinking not even just about Han Solo's death. Spoilers. Got to put spoilers in the title again just to cover my bases. I don't want to ruin it for anybody. Then again, you shouldn't even care. That's just my opinion. You should not even care. This movie was so... And the only extent that you should care, I think, is to the extent that you were attached, as I am, to the earlier story. And yeah, I'm talking about Han and Leia's love story, which was a classic. It was a classic love story. And again, I don't know if I've said this before. I think I have. I want to say it again because it bears repeating. It's worth mentioning. Episode 3, Jedi's not allowed to marry. Anakin marries Padme because he loves her in secret. A marriage happened. There is no mention of an actual marriage as having taken place between Han and Leia. So basically, they have a bastard son, literally, whose name is Ben, for whatever reason. Ben Solo. Oh my goodness. They haven't been a part of each other's lives for decades, and yet he's on that catwalk. Not a catwalk, that bridge with Kylo Ren saying, "We miss you, come home." There is no we, Han Solo. You've been apart. There is no we. It's nonsense. And I'm going to have a whole special video just about Han Solo and my thoughts and feelings that I just want to get it out more and more and more, because these are the fictional characters that I care about, basically. Anyway. Oh, man. It just... Finn. Let me get back on Finn. I didn't even... Subconsciously, I wasn't making anything of it because that's just not who I am. But I happened to watch this guy, I forget his name, Farik or something, I don't know. He came off to me as being a black racist. And yes, black people can be racist also.
I didn't catch this, but I guess I should have. I didn't at the time because I just didn't think anything of it. But when Poe Dameron says, what was your name? And Finn rounds off this D4 like a code or something. That's all they ever told me. That's all they ever called me. All I've ever been known as or whatever. And he's like, no. I forget what reason Poe Dameron came up with that Finn, I'll call you Finn. This guy, I listened to his YouTube video and he says, did you just rename this young black man because you didn't like that? And I immediately thought about Roots, and I'm like, oh no, I can't believe I missed that. But I just wasn't thinking about it. And yeah, that kind of stuff, the racial whatnot that people have latched onto the movie, I just wanted to mention that because it's something I thought was kind of interesting, but it didn't even cross my mind before. But to show how off the mark this guy was, and I'll stop after with the racial whatnot after this. He was saying they come off as like a love story type thing, but there was no intimacy between him and that woman. And it's like, I'm thinking to myself, man, it's Star Wars. These movies have been rated PG-13. There's not going to be any heavy whatnot. There's a passionate kiss or two between Han and Leia in the earlier films. Even Luke, before they realized their brother and sister, she planted one on Luke, and so that was always kind of weird. But yeah, it's not an intimate, lovey-dovey movie. It's not kissy. There are no make-out sessions in Star Wars. Thank God, it's Star Wars. And so a lot of people are coming at it like that who literally just don't know anything about Star Wars. But my main complaint with Finn's character is the direction of his acting, of Boyega's acting. There's all kinds of talent there, but it was going this way and that, and it was not harnessed into it wasn't harnessed into something that's understandable and that's actually palatable to the human mind. Take, for instance, this point. I want to know what you think about this. And I'm going to go ahead and end on this because I don't want these videos to be getting too long. But think about this. A lot of people are making the complaint that even John Williams' music is not as good in this movie, Episode 7, as it was in Lucas's first 6 films. And I think I know why. I don't even know music. I just enjoy it. But Lucas's things were archetypal. He had taken all these ingredients from all these different sources and put them into his own original space opera. And it is like a soap opera, he said many times. It's archetypal. There are things that the mind identifies with and they're easily understood. Think of the scene in Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back. Luke is stranded, X-Wings in the sludge, in the swamp. It's sinking. He starts to freak out. Drops Yoda, loses meditation in his Jedi training. You must unlearn what you have learned. He tries to use the Force to raise the X-Wing out of the swamp. Can't do it. It's too big. Size matters not. Judge me by my size. He's like, and Luke basically blasts him. You want the impossible. Yoda gets the X-Wing out using the Force. The music of that scene, which was also used in the trailer, one of the trailers for Episode 7, it just blows you away. Just da-da, 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 da-da. It gets you. It really gets you. Because it's understandable. Lucas's film, his storytelling, John Williams actually had something to work with, and the music that he made went so well with those movies. J.J. Abrams is all over the place, and that's why it still sounds like Star Wars, and yet when you listen to it, it's like, it's very chaotic, and just, there's no rhythm. I didn't understand what Lucas meant with it. It all rhymes and everything, but I'm beginning to understand it more and having more and more appreciation for the storytelling abilities that he had. And the only thing I really don't like about George Lucas as far as Star Wars goes at this point is the fact that he sold it. He made all this stuff. And now that other people have it, other people are doing what other people want to do. And ultimately, it's going to lose. It's going to go off course now. And I'm sure he regrets that. $4 billion or no $4 billion from Disney. It's bad in my mind. It's bad because I'm all for free market stuff and capitalism. It's his property. He can do whatever he wants with it. And yet, as far as meaningful art goes, he sold it. And now Disney has it. And Disney's going to milk it and milk it and milk it. All. And it shows a bit of greed in my mind from Disney, in as much as it's apparent now that these episodes, that they just don't have it the way Lucas had it. And so I wish all that they had done were spin-off movies. Because there's enough books, there's enough material. You could literally make Star Wars spin-off movies every year till forever, until people literally get sick of Star Wars, which might be a while. But they could have done that. But the fact that they're doing episodes and spin-off movies, it seems it's just a big business plan. No art, nobody trying to tell a story the way Lucas said. It started here, it ended here, and all this stuff happened in between. It's like, no, we got to think of something else and something else and something else. But I do have hopes for the spin-off movies. Things not connected with the ongoing family tree line, as it were, of the Skywalkers and the Solos now. So, yeah, it'll be hit and miss, just like the episodes will be, but I just have more hopes for these spin-off movies. Even a Han Solo film. I mean, if they were to get maybe what is his name? Can't believe it. Not Chris Pine. That's Kirk from Star Wars. That's Chris Evans? No. Whoever Star-Lord is, whoever played in Jurassic Park, I can't believe his name is slipping my mind, but yeah, he was in Jurassic World. Sorry, yeah, not Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, and Guardians of the Galaxy as Star-Lord. Come on, Chris something or other. Anyway, if they were to get someone like him to be like a younger Indiana Jones and maybe tell a story about how, and have a young Lando Calrissian in it, how he lost the Falcon to you. Well, you lost it to me fair and square. To tell that story, and maybe have some heroics where he actually does a good deed earlier than before he meets up with Luke Skywalker and Ben Kenobi, or maybe get Dash Rendar in the Outrider. Man, that's gonna be a good movie if they do it right. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to that stuff even more than these episodes, because these episodes, I don't care anymore about these characters, and that's what ticks me off. Too much is in my mind now that taints it. I never thought I'd say this, but I do not care what happens to Luke Skywalker in these next movies after what they did to Han Solo, and how Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford are willing to portray these characters totally out of character from the way they were before. It makes no sense. It does not flow, people. It does not flow for the things to pick up in episode 7. Like, it's out of character. It's out of character, the things that they did. Anyway, I'm done. Just a hint. This probably won't be the last rant after all. Anyway, take care, and thanks for watching, people. We'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hey YouTube, this is David back with another video. Just some more thoughts about what I saw the other night at the movie theater. Star Wars The Force Awakens. I'm seeing a whole bunch of people online I mean, even not just this Twitter stuff, but just articles one after the other talking about Adam Driver's Kylo Ren, and people are bandying the word emo, if it even is a word, and saying it's no good, and he's whiny, and he came off wrong, and this and that, and the Han Solo death scene and everything. But I'm just not getting it, and I want to say a little something about it. I'll be quick about it. And for me, the Han Solo death scene, which, although I'm making a separate video altogether about how I think it's a mistake to actually kill Han Solo off, it sickens me, and I reject it. And also the lack of a continued Han and Leia love story. There was no happy ever after Episode 6, the way I thought there was as a kid, loving Star Wars as I grew up. But again, I'll save those thoughts for that other video. What I want to talk about in this one is that even though Kylo Ren obviously channels Vader, his grandfather, he is not Vader. They're two separate characters. He may want to be like him, but he's not like him. And to keep trying to say like he's not like Vader, he's not as evil and everything. Well, no joke, no kidding. Duh. He's not Vader. He's a separate character. He's someone who wants to be like Vader, but who also is drawn. Apparently, he even talks about it in the movie. I remember that scene. I can feel it again, the call to the light. Show me again, and I'll let nothing stand in our way. He has this struggle, which the temper tantrum part, I heard about that before I saw the movie, and it kind of tainted what I was thinking. But now I'm just clear-headed about it now, just thinking back on what I saw for myself. That actually is a little bit like young Anakin's, and he didn't even murder a village full of people, tantrum, his struggle. It is a little bit whiny, but the making fun of Adam Driver's Kylo Ren that I'm sensing from all these people talking about it online just doesn't make sense to me. He is his own separate character. Granted, they're saying like he's still like there's like a ceiling of his fate, like he's definitely a dark side totally now after he killed Han. But then again, I didn't read the article, but I saw one thing online saying, can Kylo Ren be redeemed? Is he? Well, we're going to find out, aren't we? But what I want to end this on is this. I don't have any complaints about Adam Driver, and this is the first film I've ever seen him in, just coincidence, just by chance. That's just the way it's worked out for me. This is the first movie I've ever seen him in. I didn't have any complaints or anything about that. I thought it was just fine. And what I want to talk about here is the thing that I'm sure a lot of people are going to disagree with. I bought it. And again, I knew, unfortunately, spoiler alert, about the Han Solo death scene. I'll put spoilers in the title of this anyway, but what I'm talking about is I found out about it myself. I had heard a rumor, but then I actually saw that stupid clip that somebody illegally recorded, and they threw it up online, and I clicked on it, and I'm like, yeah, well, that's the death scene, all 10 seconds of it or whatever. When he takes his helmet off, and as he's talking to Harrison Ford's Han Solo, I was totally deceived. To me, it was great acting on his part, on Adam Driver's part, and for just a span of like 5 seconds or so. And this is how it got me. I literally forgot what was about to happen, even though I knew from what I heard online was going to happen. And I was like, when he's like, his voice is like, you think he's going to tear up or something. Like his voice starts to quiver a little bit. It's talking about how he being torn apart, and you don't know what he's getting at. And it is making kind of really sick, thinking back on it, how I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I can do it. That is not what Han Solo's thinking, which is really sickening, and that it might be he's just trying to go through with the test that Snoke is giving him. Could you kill Han Solo and all that this stuff? And yeah, more thoughts about that when I talk about Han Solo's playing out of the picture, which he better not really be dead, even though he most likely is, because they are doing some things that are just, they're ruining parts of Star Wars, important parts for me. And anyway, I'll save that for that other video. But what I want to say is, I bought it. And when he runs him through with a lightsaber and Chewbacca roars and the Rey and Finn are screaming no, and it's emotional and everything, and Han touches Kylo Ren's Ben's face, like, I don't get it. I don't get what people are saying. Emo, well, maybe that's just his. That's a part of it for now, as his character changes. But in particular, the stuff I've been hearing about Adam Driver, a lot of people want to use nasty names and say he shouldn't have been cast and stuff. Like, I don't go there. I don't see it that way. I think he was good. And again, this is the first film I've ever seen him in. I look forward to him in the episode 8, and if he's in 9 too. So yeah, I just wanted to put this out there just to get this off my chest. I bought it. The platform, the catwalk, not a catwalk, well, I guess it is a catwalk, whatever. The platform, whatever, slightly similar to Empire Strikes Back finale. I bought it. I thought it was good. So good that's how I can't deny that I thought it was good. The fact that just for 3 or 4 seconds, I actually forgot about what was going to happen, thinking that he might be about to do the right thing, as it were. But anyway, I've said enough. Maybe I'll revisit this in the next video, but I want to make another little video just talking about Han Solo's death and how he really needs to be brought back in a flesh form. But I'll get more into that in the next one. Thanks for watching, people. Hopefully not everybody disagrees, and even if you do, tell me why. I'm not afraid of talking to people and not deleting comments. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you in the next. Hey YouTube, this is David back with another video talking a little bit more about Star Wars The Force Awakens. Spoilers in the title, so you'll know that important details, if you still haven't seen the movie, are going to be given away. Here we go. When I saw this movie, and I've already put up an over an hour long review / rant where I was just trying to get my thoughts together, but really failed and just kind of willy-womp through some of the important things that I was thinking about. But there's more, and in fact, I'm going to be making these videos probably for a little while, because Star Wars, to me, it's a big deal as far as things that I'm a fan of and have spent so much of my life, my childhood, engaging in the fantasy myself. I wanted to be Luke Skywalker and all this stuff and fly the Millennium Falcon, whatever. Especially as a kid, but seeing that they're going to finish with another trilogy, and after the original, I waited for this movie, like everybody else, for a year and a half, and I'd heard rumors that Han Solo was going to die, and I just thought to myself, forget that, stupid, forget it. But then to hear interviews that I'd never watched before, because I just wasn't into the actors as much, because it's a mistake for me, and not everybody. If you do it and you keep up with everything, great. I hope to be a filmmaker one day, so I know that it has to be done. But certain things, especially that I'm a fan of, I still have mixed feelings about what I'm trying to say. But just the fact that I found out about how Harrison Ford wanted Han Solo to go ahead and play out to die in Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. I'm like, why? And it's just more credit, really. George Lucas in the prequels got off track to a certain extent, but he does not deserve the hate that he's gotten, except for his hard-headedness, being an impossible man about not releasing the original versions of the original trilogy and all that. But he does deserve a little bit more credit for not killing off Han Solo. He's like, no, we need this. There's no reason to. And so, yeah, it's one of these times when an actor just needs to be directed and not get what they want. But Harrison Ford got what he wants in this movie, and Han Solo dies. According to what I've seen on IMDb and also in other articles, everyone who was in Episode 7 is going to be in Episode 8, including Harrison Ford as Han Solo. And I'm just thinking, maybe there's a chance, and that's what I want to rail about in this video. Han Solo needs to be brought back. and my thoughts of how he can and how maybe he will be, but I can't control these people, these freaks, as I want to call them in this video. Disney and Lucasfilm and Hollywood have so much money that so much of it was considered fan service. It wasn't fan service to kill Han Solo. Even if he has as little to do as Luke in his 40 seconds of film time in Episode 7, even if he has as little to do in the next two movies as Luke did, that would still be okay with me. I know it's about this next generation, about Rey and Finn and Poe and Kylo Ren and Snoke, who I think people are saying is actually the Darth Plagueis that Palpatine talked about. Anyway, back to Han Solo. I was thinking just yesterday how the whole thing with Disney and how they kidified certain parts of the film, particularly with some things regarding the dumbed-downness and the watered-downness of Finn and what he's trying to escape from as a stormtrooper who doesn't want to do bad things. John Boyega, to me, as the first movie I've ever seen him in, I thought it was just fine. I thought he did real good, except for some poor direction at certain points and comedy that just should not have been there. It was overdone. Some of it worked, but then some of it didn't. I wish there were at least two, possibly three spots where I'm like, man, they're doing too much, and they're detracting away from the severity of his situation and what he's trying to get away from, the dark side. But he comes off seeming like someone who hasn't been with the First Order all his life the way he had, and it just bothered me, the inconsistency of it. Anyway, again, back to Han Solo. To see him run through, there's never been a brutal death of a beloved, long-running, favorite hero in a Star Wars film. You like Qui-Gon? He's a hero. He's, especially knowing the future of the Star Wars universe from Episode 1 and what happens in 4, 5, and 6, you know that what he's doing has to be done. And he seemed like something of a rebel going against the Jedi Council, how he wants, at the end, for Obi-Wan to train Anakin in spite of their the Jedi's the Council's initial objection to that training of Anakin. You like him, you see him die, it hits you, but then it's like you move on. He wasn't in 3 films, and he's even mentioned in Episode 3. And for all I know, he may come back as a nether ghost or whatever in these. You never know what they might be doing, since I heard that Hayden Christensen is going to be returning somehow in Episode 8. So, I mean, there you go. But in Episode 2, what happened? Nobody was really killed off in a serious way. Django, but his son, who's Boba Fett, he goes on. You saw him, you liked him, and then he plays out. Han Solo, though, and Dooku dies at the very beginning of the third one, but you didn't really care about him because he's a Darth Lord. But Han Solo is this beloved character who a lot of people love and was able to identify with. This scoundrel who came to greatness because he saw he wasn't all bad. And even though he lived the life of a smuggler and all that, he ultimately became a war hero in a righteous cause. And it was just great, you know. The space bum / pirate swashbuckler type earthy character. You know what I'm saying. People loved him, and so did I. And it was really a shock to me to find out a year or so ago, or whenever it was, I heard one of the guys who does reviews on YouTube, who I listen to a lot, say that Harrison Ford wanted Han Solo. He didn't consider him interesting, and he wanted his character to die off in Empire and Return of the Jedi. I'm thinking, what? So there really is a big disconnect sometimes between the actors, between what they produce in art and what they create for their fans and for art lovers and movie watchers to enjoy and learn from and take and make a part of their life and their mind and their outlook and all the rest of what art does. There really is a big disconnect between the actor's mind sometimes and the reality that they create for the viewer. And I was like, this might be the biggest example yet. I'm like, why does he not consider him interesting? People love Han Solo. But it's just a personal thing, eccentricity, whatnot. I don't get it, but it's his personal opinion. But the thing is that I'm getting at is he's an actor. And if he's tied to this role and he's willing to do it, he needs, if he's at all willing, which I heard somewhere he made like $22 million to be, that's a lot of money, to be in episode 7. And again, Harrison Ford, Han Solo. I liked everything. Everything. People are saying, oh, he's past it and he wasn't any good and he can't do much. I'm like, I disagree. I liked everything Harrison Ford's Han Solo did in this movie, except the stuff, the scenes with Leia, because of my overall objection and rejection of the storyline that they're saying exists now. He just went back to being a smuggler, and she went on fighting like fighting what? Did you have to fight that hard? After Lord Vader is dead, the Emperor is dead, the second Death Star is gone. I'm like, granted, it seems like this gradual coming back of Imperial forces, now known as the First Order, but for them to have built this huge thing, this Star Killer, which for whatever reason seems to me to be something like more Star Trekky than Star Wars. I can't explain that, but maybe it's J.J. Abrams' influence. Anyway, I don't get that. I think it's sorry. I think it's lazy, and it just makes me sick. It makes me sick. I mean, it's one thing. It would be even his Han Solo's death, which I also don't want to see happen, and I hope they fix it. And yes, I do think it needs to be fixed. He needs to come back, and I'll explain in just a second that. But it really bothers me. I think it's really sick, and I'll continue using that word, like ugly and mean, for them to not. He's been estranged from Leia. Their son went way off course, turning to the dark side, seduced by it, killing Luke's other students. And they've been apart. There wasn't the happy ever after love story. Not only was there not that, but you do bring Han back, and then you run him through with a lightsaber. I'm thinking, the more I think about it, it really is sick. And this is Disney's supposed to make kids movies now and stuff. I know this is Star Wars. It's about dark things and light and this contrast, and it's great and everything. But I'm just saying, you see what I mean? You see what my objection? Not only was there not a happy ever after between Han and Leia, but you come back and you run Han through with a lightsaber, and he's got this horrible expression on his face when his son kills him. But yeah, this is my my final say on the whole thing, and I do think it needs to be fixed. I do think it needs to be fixed, and for Han to actually be alive. You didn't see his dead body. Again, another insult. There is no mourning. There's no mourning. Leia sad face for all of 3 seconds. Chewie's roar, and then 2 seconds of a. He's leaning his head against his paw and stuff, and no room to breathe at all. Padme's funeral, Qui-Gon's funeral, different things that. All of the suspense of the end of the Empire Strikes Back with Lost Han. They've got him, but he's still alive, and we're going to get him back. It's like, come on. At the end, no mention of Han. And even though the whole alliance, or resistance now it's called, was trying to find where Luke Skywalker is and beseech him, seek his help, Rey is the only one who goes back with Chewie and BB droid to the planet to see him, and it's like, it's like, And this is another thing. I know it's a new generation and everything, but this movie, because it's contradictory stuff. They didn't think that the film could stand on its own, and so they brought in the old cast. For fan service, killing off Han is not fan service. And I mentioned in my video, my mom actually looked right at me, started giggling, like, I paid $50 to see Luke for a minute. This is crazy. It's like they didn't think the movie could stand on its own, so they brought back the old cast. But then that's not fan service. Killing off Han Solo, Harrison Ford getting his wish, is not fan service. I had no problem with Leia, except for my overall rejection of the lack of continuity between what you saw build up, this classic love story of especially Empire Strikes Back and Jedi, but it really started in Star Wars, A New Hope. And it's like, I think I'll make one more video. This is getting too long, and just do a straight out rant about these different points. But what I want to say as I end this is that as we walked out of the theater, my sister said, I asked her, did you like it? She said, no, I would have watched it on Netflix if I knew it was going to be like that. And that's coming from a Star Wars fan. She likes Star Wars. She doesn't love it the way I do, but we basically watched the trilogy together. She really likes it and everything. She loves Han, Leia, Luke. But she said if Han's not alive in the next movie, she's not going to see it. She's not going to go see it. And on that, let me go ahead and end this video. See you next time, people. Watch the next one, please. Hey people, this is David back again with yet another video with some thoughts about Star Wars The Force Awakens. This will be another just a quick audio. I'll try and keep it below 20 minutes. I'm actually in the parking lot of Lowe's right now, and the only reason I cut that last video short was because my mom got back, so I figured I've said enough for this one. Anyway, let me keep going. Let me finish up with something about Han Solo's death. Again, spoilers in the title, so don't get mad at me. Spoilers in the title. There is no mourning. M-O-U-R-N. Mourning for Han Solo. And it makes me sad, and it ticks me off, because I know it's a multi-generational thing, and it's a very interesting thing that's happened with this particular episode of Star Wars, because I know a lot of the little kids are mainly into like the Clone Wars spinoff that they did and this animated thing, and a lot of them know about Darth Maul and stuff. But even 1, 2, and 3, they may not be that. Maybe 1, 2, and 3, if anything. But the original, not so much at all. And so when my aunt took her 4 grandsons to see episode 7, the most interesting thing that could have ever happened in the movie happened. You think the little kids are going to be savvy these days and in the know. They're all tech savvy, and they all got cell phones, even though they probably shouldn't have it. And this and that. It's like, they end up asking her questions. Who is that? Who is that? They don't know these people. They don't know who Han Solo is. They don't know who Leia is. And they're obviously important people in the film. And who's this Luke at the end of the... And it was a great thing. Not just interesting. It was a great thing that the elder person knew what to say to the younger about these stories, these new movies. I thought that was neat. When usually it's the kids who are up on top of everything because they got nothing to do, and so they do their homework, and then they get into their stories, their Turtles or their Transformers or their Star Wars or their superheroes, whatever. But I thought that was a neat thing how she knew the answers, and we had a laugh about that. But yeah, when I watched this movie a few nights ago, I just thought I had this feeling throughout a good bit of it, and then walking out of the theater thinking, I wish I had been blown away by this movie, but I was just scanning it for things that I really, really liked. But just thinking about it now, looking back, the theater experience itself was lousy because there was someone in every other seat. It had been out for 2 weeks, but it was still pretty much packed out in the theater. And so we're in the very front looking up, and so that detracted from my theater experience. I'd like to see it one more time, give it another try, just to make sure that some of the special effects weren't as cartoonish as that they came off to me as being from the angle I was, because there was something about the X-Wing and TIE Fighter fights that I thought, this seems like something out of one of these computer games or console games that they're making for Star Wars games these days. It's like crazy. There's no suspense to it, and they never had this thing before that they have now. Poe Dameron, the best pilot. I don't think they'd ever done that in the earlier movies. There's never been a best pilot, just some good pilots. But yeah, that's another thing that I'll go ahead and mention right now. I'm just gonna be rambling all over the place and just getting more off my chest because this is supposed to be the mother of all anticipated movies, and I love Star Wars, and I just more and more I'm just not pleased with the overall experience that I got, and I'm just taking what I can from it and looking forward to the next one. But there's still much to be said, and so I'm going to be talking about this for a long time and looking at other people's movie reviews on it for weeks and months to come. So here goes. When I watched episode 4, and again, I'm 31 years old. I'll be 32 in June. This Jedi came out a year before I was born, so I didn't grow up with it really until they re-released it in a big way in the mid-90s. Re-releasing that trilogy and announcing they're going to be making the prequels pretty soon, which they did. And I watched them, and I took what I could from them. I didn't hate them the way a lot of people do, but I could obviously tell, no, this is not like the originals, not in the timeless, archetypal, classic way that those first 3 films were, 4, 5, and 6. But I tell you what, the Death Star battle at the end of episode 4, when the trench runs, like 3 different trench runs, and I haven't not watched episode 4 in years. But I still remember the suspense of it. This huge, monstrous battle station. The TIE fighters coming out and stuff. The towers, the gun towers, how intimidating they seemed. How Luke blows it up using the Force. But that's not until 2 other, like, veteran fighter teams of 3 go in and get shot down. These older men, these veteran seasoned warriors, these pilots, they go in one by one and they die. There was suspense to it, watching that movie. I mean, as a kid, it had been out for 80, 90... It had been out for years and years when I saw it, back in the mid-90s, right? And yet, even as a kid, watching it with my friend Greg, he got the trilogy, and I still knew nothing about it, but they had bought it, and so he brought me over to his house, and I'm watching it, the trilogy, and I'm thinking, man, this is really something. This is crazy. The suspense of it really got to me, even as a kid. This final battle, the trench thing in the end of episode 7, it was like a cartoon. Yeah, you see some of the comrades get blown up, and every time an X-Wing gets blown up, I'm like, well, there goes another friend, there goes another brother, sister, comrade, that they're just dying, shot down like flies. But they don't give it time to breathe at all. It's just some special effects. Some special effects, some sparks on a screen, and there wasn't a tension. Even when Poe goes in and they're trying to proton torpedo the sensitive spot to death, it's like it was too fast, way too fast, and that's just one of many things. But I'll tell you what, a feeling that I had watching the movie, even from early on, we're in the desert, even though it's not Tatooine, now it's Jakku, we're still a desert planet. A droid has something important. Not Death Star blueprints. No, you find out it's the map to Han Solo's actual location where he's staying, hidden away. I like the BB droid. They definitely tried to do R2 in a new way, and R2's in it, obviously. But I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and put in the link of this video, the YouTube video that I watched, an excellent, just relentless review of this movie, where it seemed like they brought out maybe like 24, maybe not 24, but I'll go ahead and say more than a dozen. It seemed like maybe 20 different points that are basically just straight up lifted out of episode 4, where they just redid it, and I so was afraid that J.J. Abrams would do the same thing that he did to Star Trek. And unfortunately, I can't deny it. He really has. He really has done the same kind of thing. Granted, it's not in the full-blown alternate universe thing that he's doing with Star Trek, but it's still the same thing. It really is a remake. You get that remake feel from episode 4, and that is what is wrong. And I'll go ahead and use the word wrong, because it feels criminal to me that so much money can be made from laziness like that. And people hate the prequel so much. I don't hate them. I don't love certain parts of them, but I don't hate them at all the way people do. I like those movies. And I like the story. The thing about it is they never repeated anything. It was always something new. They're telling a story. Granted, it was an actual prequel. A long, drawn-out trilogy prequel to 4, 5, and 6. Nothing was repeated. Nothing was redone again. It was always something new. They told the story of the Clone Wars, how Palpatine came to power, Jedis came and went, who Qui-Gon was Obi-Wan's master. You find out things from way back when, and nothing was repeated. All kinds of junk was repeated in this movie, in Episode 7. And it ticks me off, because it came to me last night, and I'm going to say it right now, thinking about this stuff. I want to be a filmmaker one day, and I just was thinking, you know what, I could have done better at the things where they've just repeated. I could have came up with something better than was in this movie. And I should not be able to say that about a Star Wars movie. Go ahead and say it, probably the most popular, even if it's only by a little, more popular than any other franchise, more popular than any, worldwide I'm talking about, worldwide story in the world. The way it caught on in places, and people from all cultures and stuff could identify with different parts of it because of the archetypal part of it, the good and the bad, the aliens, the puppets, Muppets, whatever. All the aliens and the fantasy of it. That's something that really helped it catch on worldwide, I think, in the 70s starting. And so, yeah, it just ticked me off when I said that to myself last night, that, you know what, I could have done better than what they just slapped together in certain places, like another Death Star, except this time it's called a Star Killer. And it seems offensive to me. It really does. Some things about, again, not the acting and not the actors, Daisy Ridley and John Boyega. They can act. Everybody in this movie was uber talented. These are talented people. But direction in certain parts of it and writing. It was writing and direction that messed up this movie in ways that I really think needs to be fixed, because, and I don't use that word lightly. I do not use that word lightly. They have to fix Episode 8. Well, it's about to be time for me to go. You know what? I'm just going to keep on doing this. I'm going to have to leave from this parking lot in a second. My mom's coming back. We're at Lowe's. Anyway, I'm just going to make another video and just keep on about this until I've said everything I want to say. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care. Hey YouTube, this is David back with another video. I'm going to be giving my thoughts on Rogue One today, a Star Wars story. Recording this on the LG tablet my mom let me. Not the best thing to be recording on, I guess, but I've been thinking about this movie, and I just want to get these thoughts out and put them on this channel. It's been a good long while since I added a video to this channel, and it was last year with the release of Star Wars Episode 7 that I think I last even did any videos. But anyway, I was hyped for this movie. I was thinking to myself, you know what? So many things to say. I had hopes for the spin-offs for Star Wars, the little one-offs, not the episodic things, which I wish they weren't doing. I wish they weren't even making the episodes. I wish they would just leave the story of Luke and then Anakin before him. Just leave it alone. Let that be like the foundation. And if they want to make all these filler movies that are going to be entertaining, but well, I was about to jump the gun. I was about to say it just doesn't feel like Star Wars as far as the original trilogy or even the prequel trilogy goes. But this movie, I wanted to like it, and I do like parts of it. I like things about it, but as far as the whole thing, you're not going I knew I wasn't going in to see some great thing, some classic thing, but I wanted it to be a good Star Wars movie because I was so disappointed with Star Wars Episode 7 that it just went completely off the rails. And I thought, you know what? Mr. Abrams he's really done it. He's ruined this for me. But other people are in charge of making the other films, these Rogue One and whatever they do with the Han Solo movie, these anthology films. So I thought, you know what, that'll be what I really enjoy, and that'll be what I will really go and see. But the problem is, if it says Star Wars on it, I'm part of the problem of what's going on in our society. What I mean by that is, they're gonna get my money, and it's like they take it from me. Like almost against my will, but not. It's like you're going in to see just a popcorn flick when you go to see Rogue One. Maybe I don't know what I was expecting. Just expecting to see something of more quality than I did because of what they did with Episode 7 and Super Ray and ruining John Boyega's character that could have been so great, and then they just made him into this clownish guy that it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart what they did to him and his character. But as far as this movie, it's been ripped apart by other people online and YouTube videos. And the thing is, I don't even know what I can say now because I can't disagree with anything that was said as far as critiquing this movie. I mean everything. People bring out things that other people didn't bring out, but they're all right. They're all true. It was this corporate Disney film that wanted to play it safe and didn't want to be what the director wanted it to be. Gareth Edwards wanted it to be a like a gritty, like a war documentary type film. But in the end, with all the reshoots, things that I admit I blocked out of my mind, things that I had read and learned online that I wanted to hush up and not think about going into the movie, I successfully repressed all these things, all these facts that I had become acquainted with about the making of this movie, and was still expecting something special when I got there. And although I do like what they tried to do, I like so much of what I saw, they're little things that are part of the rush job, the corporate job, the Disney whatnot. Well, let me just get into it. I was disappointed that there was no title crawl. Spoiler alert. I don't know that if that'll be much of a spoiler at this point. Hopefully, everybody who's seen the movie is gonna see it. Maybe I'll put spoilers in the title of this video. I don't know. Some spoilers. Maybe I'll go ahead and say some spoilers, just because I'm not into ruining movies for people. So I'll do that. I'll put some spoilers in the title so people will know up front. I like the character of Jane Erso, and the actress, in particular the actress who portrayed her, much more so than I did Daisy Ridley, the actress who portrayed Rey. Mostly because it's the character and not so much the actress and the aspect I'm talking about, but because it seems like there was so much more to uh, Urso's character than there was Rey, because both of them are these heroines who, it's like they want to run away, but then they come back. It's just that it made so much more sense, that pattern they repeated with Jen Urso's character than with Rey, mostly because of her dad and that story and everything. And granted, I wish some of the stuff had, like the death scene, I won't say who, but a death scene in the movie very early on, just so I don't spoil too much right off the bat. They're not letting stuff breathe. They're not letting you really just take it in, the hurt, feeling, the trauma that characters go through in these movies, because, and I'm going to go ahead and say it, and I guess I'll just repeat it throughout this whole thing, is that it's because it's Disney. Okay, phone call over. Back to my review, or rant, whatever this is. And it's just
the rush job, and now I've got to get into the reshoots. How I knew going into the movie about how it was corporate people who didn't like what Gareth Edwards wanted to do when they were really looking at what he had done in the lead up to the release of the film. How like 7 8 months ago they ordered all these reshoots that significantly changed the movie. Maybe what'll redeem it for me if they somehow have it like an alternate ending, an alternate movie, all the stuff that they did do that wasn't in the film, that was Gareth Edwards' original film. I don't know if I would have been, if I've ever been more curious to see what that movie was, to get a hold of that and watch it one day. Maybe it'll change my mind about the story he wanted to tell, because let me make this short. I really liked what they tried to do. I liked the cast. I liked the characters. I wish that not everyone had died, and yes, that'll be that shouldn't be a spoiler at this point for anybody who knows anything about Star Wars and this particular story that they were trying to tell about the Resistance people who captured the Death Star plans, the original Death Star, and led into Episode 4, A New Hope. But I wish that one character in particular, because I like Donnie Yang's character and his death scene and everything, but his friend, I forget his name, but he was a fellow guardian of some Jedi temple with him for years, and it just seemed like his death scene was so rushed. Can't think of the character's name right now because I don't have internet access right now. I'm just recalling all this from memory. It really stirred me up. It got it got the blood pumping. It was tragic and everything, like the fallen warrior and all that stuff, kind of stoic and stuff. But it's like I wish he could have survived. That one guy who had to see his friend die in his arms and everything. The the Imperial pilot, uh, he also died. That scene where he's recounting to Rey something his that her dad had told him, how he told him he believed that him, that if you uh, believe what you're doing, like to be right, like you don't have to stay in this. He was working for the bad guys basically, and her dad is not evil. He was just uh, doing what they wanted him to do, and he was building uh, a weakness into the Death Star deliberately, which I admit I kind of like all that part of it. But I wish that scene of him and what her dad meant to him, as far as helping him understand his own life and which way he needed to go. Granted, he's just one more guy who's given very little time in the movie, and then he dies also. So I wish at least one person could have uh, lived, if only just the one guy, the one Jedi temple guardian. They're not Jedi, whatever, but those guys who, whatever guardian they were supposed to be, that whole new kind of character in the Star Wars universe that hasn't been in there yet. Uh, if they had been given just a little bit more time, because I liked them all. I liked every one of them, and Diego Luna, his character, which right out of the bat something happens right from his character from the beginning that made me my eyebrows went up, and I was thinking, okay, who is this guy? Again, I won't spoil too much, but if you watch the movie, you'll be sitting there thinking, I thought he was a good guy, and then you're going along and like, well, he is a good guy. What was that about at the beginning? Anyway, just watch it to understand what I'm talking about, because it's serious business. But my major complaint, and this is what it's the catch-all of everything, and it taints all the good stuff I want to say. I could tell the whole movie. It's been like a month since we watched it, but at the theater. But it's the ending. It's the ending. Yes, it's a self-sacrifice stuff, and the space battle was, unfortunately for me, it was overdrawn. I enjoyed it and all that, but those I sat there and I literally said out loud, and I'm not big about talking during a movie, but I said, "Are you kidding me?" I was just grinning and smiling when they brought back clips of the original pilots from A New Hope. Uh, Red Leader, who was that guy? Yeah, two different guys who in Episode 4, of course, they fall, they die, they're blown up, they're X-wings. the starfighters, and I was just thinking to myself, oh my goodness, they really have gone forward with this, bringing this stuff in here, and I like that touch. But it seems like as the battle goes on, I'm bad about critiquing movies now. The more I want to get into film myself, the more I start to think about how I would do things and how I wouldn't do things, and it just felt like they ended up putting too much of them in there, and it became disconcerting after a minute. And so there's the space battle, and then the whole thing with the, I guess he's a relative or at least of the same race or whatever as Admiral Akbar, that fish species, calamari people, whatever they are. I don't know the name of the alien species, whatever. I need a hammerhead Corvette. It was so funny when you realize what he's talking about. And they rammed the Star Destroyer. I loved all that stuff. What I'm talking about is this thing at the very end. There is, I actually read about this online. Well, I didn't read any articles. I just read it was like a title, like a controversial thing. People are talking about the ending of the movie, and I didn't look into it. But I can only think that what they were talking about is what I uh, came across as I was watching it. The the ending scene. You see Darth Vader cutting down rebels in the hallway of that spaceship that you see at the beginning of A New Hope, and I don't think that part was what they were getting after. I know one uh, article in particular was saying, should we, and they were making it like a moral or ethical thing, should movie makers use CGI to portray deceased actors or something like that? And it was right after Carrie Fisher had passed away, I think, that they were asking this, and may she rest in peace, Carrie Fisher, since she's gone from us now. Uh, but the thing that something else has bothered me about that is the fact that the actor who originally played uh, General or Governor, whatever, Tarkin from Episode 4, he's been deceased for years, and I don't think they were talking about him. And he was also CGI. You see him portrayed in CGI. And for him, I want to say it really worked well. I was fooled, and I was like, man, that looks good. It's freaky how good that looks to me. And they did his voice and everything. And I think it was mainly because it was in this dimly lit, like, control room setting. He's dressed in gray. He's an older man with, like, grayish hair. And I guess it just worked better because there was something that just. I'll put it to you this way. I wasn't out of the parking lot and in the car yet when, after seeing Episode 7, I was thinking to myself, something's not right. Something's not right about the Star Wars movie I just watched. I don't know what it is yet, but after I think about it long enough, I'm going to be able to start. I wasn't out of the theater when I was thinking to myself about Rogue One. What was that? Because there's a. It was so. It's so disturbing, and I'm going to spend the rest of this video talking about it because it's all I can think about. When I think about Rogue One, even though it was entertaining, it just, something completely took me out of the movie, and it was Carrie Fisher. And not Carrie Fisher, forgive me, not Carrie Fisher. It was Princess Leia Organa CGI. It was freaky, and it was like waking up from some weird dream because you've seen this movie. They get the emotion, really, the blood pumping toward the end with all your heroes dying. They accomplish their mission and everything, but there's this final scene. You see one of the rebels saying, "Your Highness, what have they sent us? What have they given us?" Or whatever he says, and you see this horrible, absolutely spooky-looking Princess Leia CGI turn around and say, "Hope." That is the last scene in the movie, and this is my big thing. This is what drives me crazy about this movie because I wanted it to be this great thing, even though I can't deny what all these people are saying about how these movies are totally unnecessary. These, especially ones like Rogue One. I'm like, yeah, still wanted it to be a good Star Wars movie. Shut up. No, I wouldn't tell them to shut up. But the the editing of the film, right there at the end, I couldn't believe what I just saw. Darth Vader was just hacking down like a dozen Rebels. They're playing hot potato with the disc, the transmission that has the Death Star plans on it, and they're playing hot potato. Like take it, take it, take it. And he's cutting them down. Somebody else takes it. They get out the door. They barely escape. You see that dramatic scene from the. No, it's not in the trailer. It's just from that clip online of Darth Vader looking at the ship flying away, and the lightsaber goes off. Not 60 seconds, not a whole minute, I don't think, passed between you witnessing this on screen and Princess Leia saying, "Hope." And on so many levels, it just ruined it for me. Right there at the end, I was like, okay, it did that thing, the way they transition in the Star Wars movies at the very end where, whatever it's called, it goes like circular, zzz, you see all the star spread, and the credits start just zapping up, and the dramatic music starts, the great Star Wars music. And I was just thinking, I was frozen. I was just thinking, so many. It's like three or four things. I'm going to try and list them all here because as I list them, you won't be able to you won't be able to disagree with me as I round all these reasons up why it just totally ruined it right at the last for me, and for a bunch of people who I don't know how anybody else's brain would work. Like, how do you reconcile these two things? Vader is slaughtering these rebels, and then 60 seconds later, Leia says, "Hope." Horrible CGI Princess Leia says, "Hope," and unlike the Tarkin, which it looked pretty good to me, because I think it had to do with portraying a man an elderly man and dressed in gray in a dimly lit room that did the CGI good on him. She is wearing all white in a white hallway, brightly lit. She is white, and you see everything about her face, everything about her lips, and when she just turns around and says, "Oh man," it was it was atrocious. It was freaky. It was horrible. She looked off-putting. There is no she. I shouldn't say it that way. It, since it's just a computer-generated image. It looked horrible. It sounded horrible. It made no sense to say hope 1 minute after you see Vader. The brain doesn't have enough time to compute this stuff. The Death Star did nuked that area of the planet they were fighting on, and I guess destroyed all their guys, all their Imperial guys, like in Braveheart. But we'll hit theirs as well. We have reserves. And it looked horrible. It sounded horrible. It made no sense for her. My brain, maybe you can. Good for you. But I can't accept that. Hope. You can still hear the screams from the hallway of Vader killing these guys in your mind as she says, "Hope." And that's another thing. Hope. As in a new hope. Okay, so I spend this whole movie forgetting that this is just an in-between movie, telling a neat little story, a more personal story about some things that happened with some other people in the Star Wars universe. That's why I went to see it. I know it's going to be interesting, entertaining. Will I gain something from it? Maybe a little something, but not nearly as much as this kind of the Gareth Edwards war movie would have done. Donnie Yen might have been one of the best things about it, if you ask me. But I like Jen Erso, I like Diego Luna, all these talented people. But that very ending, when she says hope, it's like some guy who's just been cut down by Vader, is breathing his last in that hallway. And another thing, hope, as in a new hope. You just reminded me that I'm just watching. You put it in there, in the script, in the horrible Princess Leia CGI. You had this thing, mouth, hope. You just totally took me out of the movie. You just reminded me that I am, in fact, just watching a movie. And it was, and they're all dead. What hope? The hope you already know about from the original Star Wars movie. And so, yeah, this kind of thing is just going to keep on bothering me because I know that the Han Solo movie, even though, as usual, I'm a sap, I'm a sucker, I'm going to go see it, especially if I like the person they get to portray Han Solo, and yet, because of what these new people, these new Star Wars people have done, J.J. Abrams / Disney at all, because of what they've done, when I go and see that movie next year, Lord willing, I'm just going to see Kylo Ren running Han through with a lightsaber. They could make it good, though. It could be good. And yet, at this rate, I don't. I just don't see the politically incorrect Han Solo. I just don't see that movie being what old school Star Wars fans like me know it should be. Anyway, I've ranted long enough about this one. And tell me what you think in the comments. If you agree, disagree, if you liked it, hate the movie, love it, whatever. I know I have my mixed feelings about it, especially now that it looks like the episodes and the one-offs, the anthology movies, because they're all made by Disney, they're made by these corporate suit people, that it's just going to be the same thing. That there's no hope. There is no hope, Leia. It's horrible CGI Leia. There is no hope of a really good, entertaining Star Wars film with some what's the word that guy used? Can't think of it. Because I and I'll go ahead and say this. I know I've said it already once before in the video last year about The Force Awakens. It just seems like sheer greed that they're doing both, that they're making episodes and these one-off movies, anthology movies. I wish they were just doing one. Just make the one-off movies. Just make the anthology movies. Rogue One, Han Solo, Boba Fett, whatever, you know. But to keep going with anything related to the Skywalker family, it's just like I wish they would have just left that alone and just go make Star Wars movies. Have the Star Wars, the opening crawl, and do some good stuff. But they're doing it all because they can, and there is much money to be made off people like me. So anyway, take care, people, and tell me what you think. Tell me what you think about it in the comments, please. Have a good one. See you guys later.